Okay, so immediately after recording that last video, I knew that I was leaving one thing out that was really important. So I was kind of debating if I wanted to edit this into the last video. I kind of decided that the point alone is worth a video in itself, and I'm gonna, it's probably gonna be a 5-10 minute video, if that. It's gonna be short, but I wanted to make this point in terms of I'm gonna probably title it part 2 of whatever video title I titled the last one. Getting into one more positive. This positive, actually, out of all of them, is probably the biggest. They're going to be the hardest to achieve, too. And what I mean by that is that there's going to be a big negative. It's going to be a big negative. And what that's going to be is that so many people are about to lose their job, which is really awful. But over the last few decades, the death of individualism, the death of self, the death of uniqueness, of wonder, of creativity, of artistic ability, of expression, all of that is really dwindled, right? And a lot of that has to do with societal implications and how you can be viewed by society and comparisons and judgments and all of that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be the center of attention in a bad way, because it affects, some metaphorical credit score that we all have, right? We don't want that. So if all these people are losing their jobs, how could that be positive? Well, man, this is a dream. This is like Martin Luther King, and what he wanted to see. And I'm not comparing myself to Martin Luther King. I'm just saying, like, in the context of, like, I have this dream that if all of these people lose their jobs, that we could enter a state within humanity where creativity and expression reaches an all-time high, where we may have AI doing all of these labor, all of these jobs that people are doing. But what if that allows people who were working jobs that would never allow them to express a talent in a way that would ever reach the world, in a way that was meaningful? What if it allowed them to do that? What if they could sing, but they worked a desk job, and they did that for 20 years, and it just never allowed for them to reach that potential? What if they could dance? But they were a truck driver. What if they would have been the best chess player in the world, but they got stuck in a job where they could never express their intellectual ability in any capacity whatsoever? And I look at all of this, and I wonder to myself, what if all of these people, and again, it would come down to them and whether they want to do this, and they make the choice for themselves to do this. But what if we could see a world in which everyone is expressing themselves in a different way? And in my mind, so I like to paint, I like to draw, I like to do, hands-on type stuff. So, like, whenever I think about that, I'm like, okay, what if everyone painted? But then I, remind myself that not everyone likes to paint, not everyone likes to draw, not everyone wants to do that. Some people want to do completely different stuff. And how could we transform this creativity, whether it be physical objects such as, a painting that I create, or somebody expressing themselves through singing in a way that's not attending a concert, ultra corporate BS, or expressing themselves through an instrument that they have now actually had the time to learn and play, or, there's going to have to be a change in money, and how we use money, and how we earn money, and man, I don't know what that change is going to look like, but I would love to see. I mean, how awesome would it be to see you walk outside, your neighbors aren't going to work anymore, but they go outside and they open their garage door, and it's whatever market, whatever they do. One of your neighbors makes handmade ropes now. The other one, hand makes guns. The other one makes art, right? One of them draws on shoes. One of them does paintings. One of them does, they make like fish tank. It's crazy stuff. One of them makes miniature dioramas. One of them make tank sets. One of them will come over and decorate your house for you. They may not be creative, or artistically inclined, but they may have the ability to arrange stuff in a way that's beautiful that no one else could see. And and a colorful expression, basically, where you're arranging things in a artistic manner that is, I would say, intuitive in the sense that you're not randomly placing anything, right? And you have these people who are able to do all of these different things, and I could sit here and list them off all day. Probably already almost at 10 minutes. But the point that I want to make is that all of this could be a massive positive, because we could finally enter the first point, and maybe not ever, obviously I wasn't alive for the times back then, but we could enter the first point in humanity in a really, really, really long time, if not ever, where we are purely allowed and able to express ourselves. And that's what life should be. That's what life is beauty, of expression, of individuality, of showing who you are, of what you are and what you can do, and understanding personally what you can do and amplifying that, finding ways to amplify that, finding ways to understand that you may be better at this than everyone else around you, so what can I do to become the best version of that? And finally having the time to do that, finally saying, I have the time to go work out. I have the time to better myself, to, be more physically inclined and be stronger in the ways that I've wanted to be. I have more time to spend with my dog. I have more time to spend with my parents. I have more time to spend with my partner, my kids, my house, my whatever it is that you want to do. There may be a chance where we could do all of that. And that's amazing. That is so cool to think about. I love to think about that. That's a beautiful thought. That everyone finds a purpose that is meaningful. And that's hard. That's really, really intense wishful thinking. And that, it's tough for me, but I love to idolize that thought in my head, because in some ways, I feel like that's what we're really meant to be doing here. What we're really meant to be doing is showing everyone how beautiful, we the species can be, and we as individuals can be, and sharing these parts of ourselves that are unique to us to everyone else, and everyone else sharing those parts that are unique about them to us, and we learn everything, and it's like a pie chart, right? And you can't fill out this pie chart by talking to just one person or a few people. You're going to get parts of that pie chart. You got to talk to everyone. And society really just doesn't allow for all of this. I don't know. I'm not going to say communication. It's just really hard. It's really hard to connect. And imagine a world where it's easier to connect, because AI is doing all of these jobs that are just totally soul-sucking for us. That's a beautiful thought. That is the ultimate positive that could come out of all of that. All of this, any of it, with AI. And I really implore you again, if there is something like you in the back of your mind, you want to paint, you want to draw, you want to write poems, you want to sing, you want to build an engine, you want to do anything, you want to, whatever it is that you want. I keep hitting this, oh my gosh. Go and do it. Whatever it is that you want, as long as it's good and it's not hurting anyone, It really, and again, start doing it now, because there may be a point where that pays, where your individual talent, your expression, and by the way, you may not think that you're talented artistically, but you individually have the power to create a painting, a drawing, anything in between, a poem that is unlike anything that can, has, will, could ever be seen, because it's you, and you are the only you that will ever exist, and that's incredibly important, and you have to understand that too. So while you're here and while you have the time, do those things. Absolutely. And I think that this obviously was an important enough topic for me to make a second video. So again, it'll be titled Part 2, and I'll be back on here soon. But I hope that you guys have a good one. And I hope to see you guys soon.